Alright guys, I'm driving around doing some errands. I'm thinking about what is next for Israel Adesanya. So it still doesn't seem real that he tapped out last night, but that's how it goes. Israel Adesanya got tapped out by Dricus du Plessis, rear naked choke in the 4th round last night at UFC 305 in Perth, Australia. It was a good fight. Apparently, according to the scorecards of the judges at the time the fight ended, Dricus du Plessis was winning 2 rounds to 1. I think that's a fair assessment too. The first round was very tight. The second round was definitely a Dricus round, and the third round was definitely an Izzy round. I probably would have leaned the first a little Izzy, but it was very, very close. So was not controversial in that area. But now that Israel Adesanya lost, even in the cage, everyone was kind of like, what's next? What's next? And Israel's like, I didn't think this far ahead. No one expected. It's not like Dricus was expected to lose, but none of us were really planning what the result for Izzy would be if he were to lose. Like that just wasn't on the docket. So let's talk about it. So immediately following the win, Alex Pereira puts out that he's coming back to 185. That could just be, now that Alex is as popular as he is, it's kind of like Conor just says stupid stuff to get traction under his name, get people talk about him, gain even more popularity. I don't see him coming back down to 185. I see him doing heavyweight before that. But who knows? Even if he does, he's not going to fight Izzy. Like, why would you bring the champ of one down to fight the guy that's not going, at least a fight away from a title shot? You know what I mean? Like, if he comes down there, he's going to fight Dricus. So the only two that really kind of fall in place if you're not screwing anybody. So you could see him getting thrown in there with Sean Strickland. That would absolutely be bullshit to Sean Strickland. He already beat Izzy, and Sean deserves his shot at the belt again. Like, plain and simple. So I feel like that leaves, if you look at the rankings, it's going to put Nasruddin up there. Now Nasruddin, I believe, is already booked, and I could be wrong about that. I know Cannonier's already booked, and Cannonier's right there around the same rankings, and Izzy's already beat Cannonier. So, you know who really, the only fight I see that makes sense for Izzy at 185 is going to be Khamzat Chimaev. That's the only one that's going to make any sense. That's going to be any different, anything new, anything special. When you start looking up and down the top 10, it's a bunch of names Israel's beat. He's already beat them. Some of them he's beat twice, like Cannonier and Vettori. I don't know if he did Cannonier twice, but he definitely did Vettori. But they've got Chimaev deep in the rankings, like 8, 9, 10, something like that. He's the only one. It's the only one. Either Izzy, and you got a lot of people saying Izzy should move up. Well, he might be able to now, but I don't think he wants to, and he's not having trouble making weight for where he's at. So I don't think moving up is the option. Sometimes you just got to let cards fall into place. I think Chimaev would be a good fight. Izzy's going to sell versus anyone, so if he waits out and he gets Nasruddin, he's going to be able to sell that fight anyways. But on going up to 205, I saw someone saying he should go up to 205. And you do have a match that makes sense on where they're at in their careers, and that would be Jerry Prochazka versus Israel Adesanya. Because Jerry would be coming off 2 losses. Israel would be coming off 2 losses. The problem is Israel going to beat the ever-living tar out of Jerry. Like, unless Jerry can lay on him, it's just not. And again, Israel ain't making weight. Israel ain't having issues making weight. So, in conclusion, I think what's next for Israel? One, I think he's going to have to just sit there for for a month and see how things play out. Opportunities are going to present themselves to Israel because people will want to be in the cage with Israel. You got to understand that as things play out, people will say Israel's name. But I think Chimaev is the exciting fight. If Israel wants a fight, get that one with Chimaev. Otherwise, I'd say it's probably going to have Nasruddin. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? What would you guys like to see him do? I'm not opposed to seeing Izzy step away for a little bit and do a little boxing against Jake Paul. I'm just saying. I'm not opposed to it. Doesn't mean he's got to do it. But Jake Paul's a big boy. He's over 200 pounds. Izzy knows how to strike, and he's bigger in the reach and range and striking. I'm just saying.